Hi. Welcome. Good evening. Or morning or whatever. Let me just do a quick sound check. Hi. Good. It's working. Oh, so hi everybody and welcome to Astrobion. To everybody who's joining after yesterday's very successful Reddit post, it blew me out of the water, honestly. I didn't expect to get that kind of traction. It's amazing. It's really cool. You're awesome. And welcome to the stream. I'm gonna take the first couple of minutes before I start working on the project to explain to you what the project actually is, and I can talk a lot in text. It's easier to talk than in text form. So, what is this game? Okay, let me. I called it new game. I haven't renamed it yet. And here. Oh wait, I reduced the resolution on this one. Yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to add. Alright, so here it is. Alright, I'm already seeing one of the bugs. There it goes. Alright, so what is Astrobion? Astrobion is a little project that I thought I would make after, I study medicine, and I've spent a couple of time in, we have like rounds, and we have like to spend a month where we, on one on a ward, a certain ward, or a certain doctor or something. So it was really fun, very, very much fun to start to think about sicknesses in terms of, hey, where does this come from? How does this organism work? And the entire process of diagnosing a problem from the beginning to the end, and also discovering how it works and learning how things run in a very, very complicated organism is a very, very fun process that I wish there was a game that actually does that. And I looked around, there isn't much. Like, there are a lot of like building games, like Factorio, for example. There's like or something similar, Satisfactory and Infinifactory, all stuff like that related to building stuff. Yeah, sure, but that's as close as you get to a complicated system. Well, there isn't like this little niche, and I decided to make a game about it. So basically, the idea of this game is that there's this cell. Right now, it has a graphical interface, but more importantly, it's like there's a background simulation happening in this cell. There are a list of different elements. You can see them by pressing slist.e, and these are like the supported list of stuff that we can make in the game. But basically, they're all like combinations of stuff that you can make out of water, sultrium, carbium, and all these three things only. I'm going to be renaming these. A lot of people made a very good point about how I should probably use real life terms of things, which will be less confusing to what they are. And I agree, and I will. But for now, just to show you what this is, basically the cell keeps itself alive by taking elements from the environment around it, pushing it inside of the cell, and processing that stuff and burning it. Like, so the basic formula of this is actually it takes sultrium and carbium from the outside, CRB, and makes out of it, I think, certerium. I don't know, the names are weird. I'm gonna change them. And then byproducts are sulfuric acid and carbic acid. This is like the basic formula. I don't know the numbers actually. It will be. Actually, let me check. It was an initialization, I think, initializing the cell. Product certerium, yeah. Take 1 1, spit up 1 1, and 5. Really? I don't know. Whatever. The idea is that it does that. And Deuterium gets like burned. And you have energy in form of ARV or Arvinium, or I'm gonna name that a more scientifically accurate name is ATP later. So that's how the cell works. And when the cell has too much of ARV, it makes ARV into fat. And if it has too much fat, it burns fat into ARV, and I think fatty acid or something. And this is basically the metabolism of the cell. It's just these 3 or 4 things that it does. But these are like being maintained to maintain a balance. So we have water here. It tries to maintain a certain osmolarity. Osmolarity is just a measurement of how much actual... how to explain it? How much pieces of physical, that non-liquid stuff that are not water, basically, or ions in the cell, next to the actual cell. So the rest. So like if we have how much, basically calculated by if you have how much like molecules of everything else other than water is there in this, and that's how you calculate osmolarity. And the thing is, like, it works in biology that cells try to maintain a same osmolarity as outside, but you don't just try. It's just that there's a physical phenomena that water just goes in and out to maintain a balance. It's the same way as low pressure and high pressure and all that kind of stuff. Oh wait, I haven't started the counter. That's stupid. All right, here we go. Yeah, and so sultrium and carbium try to maintain like around 5%, 4.6. I don't know. Like there's around, like I think there's a threshold somewhere of how where it tries to keep that concentration. And of course, if you use the tester, you can plug it in, click on edit, and choose element concentration carbium, and you can see that, well, it's a bit too fine to see, but you can zoom in and center, zoom in again, and you see that carbium is going up and then being used, going up. If you hit F3, I think it's no F2, it makes the simulation faster. It runs at full speed, and yeah, you can see like it regulates this. And what's happening is that it's bringing in carbium, and that carbium is being used, so it goes away out of the concentration. So it tries to bring that up to the concentration that's correct, and then it gets used again. And it's like it has a cycle of going up and down, and that's how basically cells work in general. And it reaches a balance in the end. And as long as you generate a cell so that it reaches the same balance of the goal that these transporters try to achieve, and these transporters work based on concentrations, so it works. Deuterium gets burned, makes arvinium, and sulfuric acid gets pumped outside. Like the acids are really, really low. Like if we connect it here and then check, well, you can see it here actually. It's like 0.0. It's really, really low. pH is the thing that shows it, which is the logarithm of the power of 10 of how much of these little pieces we have. Of the positive ions. Usually it's a positive hydrogen, but I'm just assuming every acid is a positive ion. It's also, all molecules have the same molecular size, which simplifies the process. Like there's a lot of simplification, but for the sake of being playable, like I don't want to make it simulate a million things, and but use the right formula, and that's the point. So let's try to mess around with it, right? So by the way, you can do all of this through console commands. You can, if you want to mess with a cell's element, you write CE. Or if you have no idea what to do, just write help and hello. Yeah, there we go. Huh, that's weird. I discovered a bug. The goal of the game is, well, till this point there is not yet a goal because I'm still working on making the simulation work first, and then I'll try to mess around with it. But the goal would be based on the lore, based on the level. First, you have to you mostly have to solve the medical mystery of why is the cell sick at all. You have to keep it alive, but not keep it alive. It's basically you're trying to cure it. You want to see what is wrong with it and give it a medication that fixes that, and hopefully permanently, or at least you would feed it with a constant stream of something to keep it alive. Maybe later you have a job to actually kill the cell, but based on the knowledge you know how it stays alive, you would also know how to kill it. And it will get more complicated. You have multiple cells that live in the same organism, and then maybe you have an whole organ itself. But if you know how individual cells work, then you'll feel much more powerful in your knowledge to solve these problems, and that would make things a lot more fun. And yeah, so wait a second. Why isn't the just want to check why the help command is not doing anything. Oh, there it is. I'm just an idiot. I wasn't reading these. So yeah, if you don't know what to do, you can use the console commands to get a lot of extensive information. So like you have CE to work with environment elements, and no, EE for for environment element CE. Another typo. there are some bugs I need to fix. Anyway, so if you write help CE, that's how you modify stuff inside of the cell. So yeah, we can now write CE water, and you get how much water we have in the cell. And now let's keep our eye on. Actually, why don't we just do it with the actual mixer? Like, I have made this for a reason. So we go and make this maintain like how much sultrium we have in the cell, right? We're monitoring this thing. Now let's make the modifier add like 500. Like, let's add 3,500 of this, and then just dump it in the cell. As you can see, it goes up. But more importantly, like, let's pause it for a second. More importantly, actually I can't interact with the menu if it's paused. The osmolarity will also change. So we have the pH. I'm gonna monitor the osmolarity here. All right, let's go back. And as you can see, the osmolarity here is, well, this isn't granular enough to see unless you click on it. All right, so if I take lots of salt and then push it and then throw it in, the osmolarity goes up, but it tries to maintain itself to go down. Like, if you make it go faster, it just bumps down and then stays at the right osmolarity just to maintain it with the background. If I pump a lot of water inside of it, the osmolarity will go down because we have less water, but it will go back out to maintain that itself. But we can also overload it with lots of shit that it just can't handle how much you put in it. And as you can see, it gets bloated for a second, then goes back. Now I'm trying to adjust these little variables of how fast it goes back and how fast it grows and how slow it does that. And it's I have to like measure a lot of stuff, like to know what's going on. And as you can see here, the cell volume is also something you have to be careful with. Like, if I load it with, let's say, 50,000 waters, you can see like the cell volume goes up, and it takes a lot of time to go back down. Like right now it's going really fast, but as you can see, this has resulted in the sultrium and carbium concentrations is going to 0 because it's also playing a role of how much of those stays in the cell. There's a lot happening, and this gives a lot of possibilities to mess around with it. There's a lot of gameplay possibilities, a lot of problem solving possibilities. As soon as we have a cell that does a function and stays alive and does that in a balanced way, which is why I need you guys' help to test it and say, okay, this doesn't feel realistic. This is way too fast, this is way too slow. It would be cooler if it's done this and that. And then, and then we would have levels, and levels designing wouldn't be especially that hard. Just build a scenario, give an objective, and then let the player do something. The most important thing is that you get the simulation done right, and the GUI elements. Like, anyway, that is everything about the simulation. Now, you can see all of these information back in the tester. You have, let's reset those. You have 4 electrodes. I can even make them 7. It's not that. I decided 4 at the beginning, and I still need to program the hitbox of where this gets plugged in, because it's not necessarily all in the cell itself. Thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're interested. So yeah, like you can plug in the cell. It tells you where it's plugged, or you can plug it in the environment. Right now you have to go way back outside because I haven't fixed the plug boxes. I should just make them the environment is within the box and the cell within the cell itself. This is still on the roadmap. Anyway, so environment and cell, and yeah, and you can go click in and hit edit and choose whatever thing you want to monitor, and it works that way. And so you can choose an element, certain element to concentration, and as soon as it like scans the line, you can press A to centralize it, zoom in, zoom out, in like granularity, go up and down in the scale, and it shows you also a detailed percentage over here on anything. Like, as long as it's plugged, you can always also quickly measure 2 things from outside and inside by just replugging it outside. Right now it's out of the heat box. So like here, it's environment carbic acid. It's the cell carbic acid. Like, you can quickly measure differences. You can let's measure something that actually is changing. Like sultrium here. We see like how is it inside the cell. I can immediately like pop, and I can see how it is in the environment, and you can see like there's a massive difference. And if we zoom out, you can see like that's the difference between the two, and this will help you. I will have a way to document these things and then import them into the codex. The codex is a text-based system that I was also programming. Everything here is written from scratch, so you have to write everything, like how to parse text, how to read text, how to format text, everything. It's just not using an engine. It's part of my own education. Like, I'm learning a lot of stuff, and it's also fun and easier. Like, you just use the stuff that you need anymore. It's cool to have complete control over your program, you know. Anyway, the codex is really stripped down at this point. It was at the beginning of one of the most advanced things. Now it's one of the most simplest things. It has a scroll thing when it's long, and yeah, it works well performance-wise. Anyway, the idea is that to make this also a place to record whatever you can read at the tester. Yeah. So when you have a tester, you can like maybe hit print, and it will save it in the codex and stuff like that. Now the latest thing that it's the first thing that I did, but the latest thing that I overhauled is the mixer slash stove slash tray. It's a really nice piece of stuff here, a piece of lab equipment here. So at the beginning, you have the first 2 rows are your base elements that you can use, that you can take out of the game, like you can play with. You have water, sultrium, like you can hover over them, it will tell you the full name of them. And yeah, I think I might add more, be able to scroll through them. Anyway, here is how much of those you can add by clicking once, just to save you the trouble of clicking a million times to get like 50 pieces. This in the actual game release, this will be something that you can upgrade, and maybe like it's not going to be something bitchy that will make your life harder, but it's just going to be like, okay, I need more granularity, I need a better scale or stuff like that. So yeah, you can click on something and we'll put it on a tray. The tray is just 3 slots of flasks that you can fill with elements of different kinds. And here it shows you the molecular weight, if you want to call it. Like, this is just how much units of weight. I didn't put a unit behind it just to avoid the confusion. Or I just wasn't, I don't know, might add it later. So yeah, it fills up the closer you get. I haven't capped it yet. It should be capped, I think, around 8,000 or something. So yeah, for comparison, the actual cell has around 80,000 pieces, more or less, in total. So so that you know how it works. Now, of course, why would you be able to use like 10 and whatnot? Maybe there's stuff that granular difference would maybe kill the cell, toxic stuff. That would be the way to do it. Yeah, so we got salt, saltrium, which is basically NaCl salt, natrium chloride, and you have the carbium. And with these mix, the cool thing now is that you can take this and put them into the stove. Now the stove is a really nifty piece of equipment, and as you can see, like here, there's this little light lit on. Basically, the game, to make things a little bit more fun on the chemistry side of things, elements have more than one state. Like water, it has ice, liquid, and gas. I summed all of these up in 3 heat levels, right? And it's based on the element. The element has 3 heat levels. Actually 4, since like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. And water, for example, is at level 0 whenever it's 0 Celsius and lower. I considered using Kelvin, but I thought Celsius is more easy to work with, unless you're using Fahrenheit. But maybe I'll add it so that you can switch to Fahrenheit. Shouldn't be that hard, or Kelvin for the fact. You know what? I'm always for give the player the choice and then let them do whatever they want. So yeah, you can decide how much your stove. Like the stove is not on right now. That's why nothing is changing. Now, for example, saltrium is solid. Like it's, let's talk in heat level terms. It's heat level 1. When it's, I think, from -10 to 50 or something, you know. And things, when you're gonna mix items, you take them and put them here in the mixer after you cook them, and you hit mix, and it makes, like, see, saltric solution. Now it mixes things based on how much heat levels it has, how much temperature. Now the temperature of this thing is actually, yeah, it makes sense because it starts at 0. The temperature is the average temperature of both things that are inside it. So yeah, that is basically how this thing works. Now the blue button clears whatever's on the tray, whatever's in everywhere. So now let's try to mix something. Let's take water. Actually, let's take 8 parts water and 2 parts saltrium. Now let's cook these. If you cook them up both to level 2, you can make saltric acid. This is a thing in the game. Now I want to bring them up to level 2. Let's say that 120 is the target, and I hit the stove on. Now they're cooking. Now this also, like, it's based on how much of the element is in the thing, and based on the type of the element, it defines how fast these things cook. So that the more you have, the harder, and I think the solider the thing is, the harder as well. So now, like, we want them to get to level 2. So let's see what happens. Like, I'm gonna crank it up. Like, the higher you get, like, the faster also it cooks. Basically, like anything. All right, we have both level 2. We turn it off, and I put them both in the mixer, and then I hit mix, and there you go. You have saltric acid. And I also made, like, so that you have high concentrated saltric acid, low concentrated, and I don't know how I'm going to integrate them with the cell, because the cell works only in terms of how much saltric acid itself has, not how much of this is concentrated and not concentrated and all that stuff, which will be a little bit of pain in the ass. Anyway, here should be like inventory slots, but I haven't visually programmed them yet, but they work. So yeah, let's see what happens. Now, acidity makes pH go up and down, right? And now if I go here and click on pH, and we have a solid 7.3. Now take this and drop it into the cell, and holy shit, it dropped down and even cell collapsed. And it got greenish and whatever. It died because it had too low pH, because we added a shitload of acid. You need to work with really minute levels. Now, of course, if this thing happens, you can always reset the cell by saying C reset, and it will go back to living, and the thing will go away. And you can start messing around with it again. Of course, you can close the program and run it again, but that's how it works. So this is, oh no, yeah, and you have a trash. You can throw things in a trash. So this is how the game works so far. I hope you are interested enough to continue following it. In today's devlog, that's it for the let's do like cut in case I cut this out in the future. I should actually take out that snippet and explain that. So yeah, the thing is that now I will be working on menus to make just the basic play, options, and exit. And in options, I want to add change resolution. A lot of people had problems with resolutions based on, like, I have a big well, you can scroll back. Hey, you can scroll back. You're on YouTube, right? And you can just scroll back like to the beginning of the stream. I explained the whole thing, and it's gonna be saved. After the stream is over, I'm gonna cut that part and then post it in the subreddit and on Discord so that you can watch it again. The thing is, like, explaining all the stuff that I just did actually needs like a documentation page, and it's a lot of talk. But yeah, you can definitely do it. If you're not able, comment if that wasn't possible. Yeah, I mean it's on YouTube and it's on Twitch, and I think Twitch doesn't allow you to scroll back, which is weird, but yeah, YouTube is also there as well. And if you want the link for the YouTube channel, it's on the website right here, and on the subreddit as well. You can find it. And please join the Discord. There's also a link on the subreddit. It'd be awesome to have you, unless you're already there. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add menus and options for like changing the resolution size, because right now it's like 1600 900. Yeah, that's weird. Twitch is weird, man. Yeah, so, well, I mean, thank you for showing up, Louisa, and try YouTube. The thing is, like, right now the chat bubble is telling me that you're on YouTube, so I don't know. Yeah. So the resolution is like 16:9 is the aspect ratio, but it's this resolution is not really doesn't really look good on laptops. It cuts, like, laptops, especially older versions or the ones that have lower resolutions or just plain old small. You can't see all these things. And I should also have a full screen stretch mode, which I haven't added for some reason. But well, I haven't added it because it's easier to program while you're looking at the game, and I have like the console window that prints out stuff from the game if I need it, and that's the way to do it. So anyway, that's it for the explanation about the game. I'm going to now get to actually writing those things and adding those stuff to it. Feel free to comment and ask any questions, and yeah, thank you for showing up. Also, recommend you listen to the music I'm listening to, and yeah, for copyright reasons, I don't want to share them. Otherwise, they'll take this thing down. Or you'll be talking to a mute person. So, drink some water. There's one thing I want to test first, is that if SDL, like I'm using SDL library, which is the very basic, a very basic library that allows you to just interact with the Windows API or whatever OS API in the background really easier, like creating windows and polling events of clicks and buttons and all that stuff. It's much easier that way. It also has a rendering API. It uses its own like translation to OpenGL. I might move it to OpenGL later in the future, but right now it's working. It's good enough for the prototype. Also, there isn't much of a performance penalty, honestly. Unless you call it's taking long to start a performance penalty. What's going on? That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, it has minimal CPU usage, and RAM usage is acceptable. I mean, it just lose images. They're not that big, but it's lose RGB 32-bit images. And also the actual text is all saved that way. So, yep. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, actually, you're right. This thing doesn't allow you to scroll back. Fucking weird. Also, how do you most of my time I'm Googling stuff, by the way. Stretch full screen. do. Reddit did do. Alright, so I think hit render scale quality is linear. Set logical size. Alright, let's try one at a time. What happens if I do this? And the question is, can I bring it back to... Why is it taking so long to start? All of a sudden. Okay, this is not what I had in mind. Alright, because it's not stretching, right? And of course you can't, yeah, you have to Alt F4 out of it. Why is it taking so long to start though? Oh wait, let me put this into releases. No, it's okay. I don't know. Sometimes Windows is weird. So we have... Well, let's see what kind of flags I have for SDL create window. Or maybe I need to hit those two. So this, what you're suggesting right now, Bilgun? Yeah. What you're suggesting is exactly what the codex is for. It's just that I haven't added anything to it since I first wrote it, because I'm such a lazy idiot. So, it's really weird, stretchy thingies. So yeah, you see this? This is what it's supposed to be doing. It's, this information needs to be amended, needs to be documented. But the thing is, I keep changing it, that I thought, alright, might as well just do it in the end, when I have at least something that is, you know, set in stone, that I know, okay, this is the way it is. I will add to it, because I'm constantly adding new rules and constantly adding new ways of things and readjusting and like, okay, this is a little bit too fast, but too much, and you just gotta stop writing those because it's taking too much time to do that. But now I realize that people who want to play this game also need to be able to understand these things, you know? Yeah, so I agree with you. I should do that. I mean, maybe someone in the community would also have fun doing that as well. But I'm probably going to do it later, that's the thing. Alright. I can with this. What is the difference? Is it only after I Oh, that is nice. Oh yeah, that makes sense why it's doing that. Huh. Although the clickety clicks and are not they're not being registered to the right positions. But that shouldn't necessarily be that hard to do. I think, like, yeah, it's there. It's there. It's just that. Well, can I Alt Enter? Okay. What happens if I do this? This doesn't seem to change anything for now. With the logical size. Now, after I set the logical size, I think I need to, well, you can see the problem if I do this. You'll see what I mean. If I hit F1, you can see the cursor position X and Y. Now, after a certain point, the cursor position, hey, that is correct. 120, 180, 1920. Okay, so what's the deal? Set render logical size. Alright, if I don't do that, okay. So maybe I need to have two cursor information stored at all times. Let me see, is there any problems that arise in this? Let's see this thing. Function uses a viewpoint and scaling functionality to allow a fixed logical resolution for rendering. Yep. Okay. I think this is the right way to do it. It's just that... Alright. Oh, that's great. Perfect, this is the one I need. Alright, let's try it, I guess. But no, first I need to fix something. I need to fix something with the... I need to get that information though. How do I... It's there, man. How am I doing? Get logical size. Alright, I'll try that. I'll call it once before. Then call this. Then call it after. And see if there's a difference. Wait, there isn't a... I should have added a new line. This is the weirdest thing. Suddenly the game takes forever to start. Alright. Then show me the output window. 0016900. But that's just a logical size, not the actual size, right? And where do I fill the resolution? Window width, window height. Do I update them though? Where are they updated? Okay, that's weird. Alright, let's run it through the debugger. Okay, let's step through it. Set as main. All right, F10. I want to see these two. Oh, get window size. That's what I want. All right, so I need to store logical window width and window height and actual window width and window height. I think so. All right, then let's make those then. Now, logical window width and logical window height never change after this. And now I want to store these Actually, they're just stored. Now, in the update function, I think what matters is the update of the mouse position. So where was that? Get mouse state. Mouse dot times equals the ratio, I think, between window width over logical window width, and the same thing applies for do I need those two though? What happens if I do this? Is anything being dependent on them? Yep, those things I want to fix. Well, first no, here. Didn't do jack shit. Oh wait, maybe it's... Well, I think maybe you should have to flip them. I don't know if this is the right solution for these things. I'm not sure. But, God, why is it so slow? Yep, there it is. It works now. Do-do-do. Storing all of those values, and we can show the debug version when you're showing the mouse cursor XY. Here is the logical one, and the resolution. The logical resolution will be this. So here, logical mouse, and here logical window width, logical window height. Now there you go. There you go. The logical width, we have the actual resolution and the logical resolution behind back. So when I'm rendering things now, I should be pertaining to the logical resolution in terms of rendering, but showing them in the actual resolution. So at the end here, yeah, basically that, which is cool. Though let me check something. Oh, this is a problem. Ah, that's right. Some of these things are working in terms of that's a little bit of a pain in the butt now. This also is a pain in the butt. I have to solve all these before I move on. Yeah. One sec. Okay. Hey, there's a feature request. Alright, so Billy says, how about depending on what to feed the cells, kind of slowly evolves to a more complex form because 30-day substance doesn't kill the cell. That could be interesting to actually work on evolve mode. Actually, oh dang, I forgot to show you the plan. There is a whole lot of planned stuff to add to the thing, and one of the things that I want to add to it, one of the things is actually DNA. I want to have, it's a bit down the road, but I want to have a mode where you can actually do gene splicing and stuff like that. Like where you have a string of DNA that you could code basically what a cell does. So like CRISPR shit, you know, like you have the strand of the DNA that the thing lives on, and you edit that. And yeah, definitely planning to do that later. Sandbox mode, you can mess around with the cell, and about the idea of curing cells and maintaining their health can be a campaign. As the progress of cell you need to cure gets more infected and complicated to cure. Yep, that's on the plan. The recipe of cures is used in the previous levels can be noted in your catalog book. Exactly the plan. And that you can use them as needed, or just store them resources. Yep. Sandbox mode, you can develop your cell until you think it's ready to go out in the world and see what the world further. The game name Papers, Please accept the people in the cells. Yeah, it's definitely very similar in its idea of how it would work to Papers, Please. You have a lot of things that cost money, a lot of things that cost time, and you have a limited amount of both. And the Papers, Please definitely is an inspiration to this. So yeah, I totally like your suggestions, and they're all in line of what the plan actually is. So yeah. So okay, what was I gonna do? I was gonna fix the problem with the debugger when I'm rendering. Yeah. Render console. Window height, which is in this case let me see. This is definitely weird. What is happening? Is it 1-to-1? But it should have 16 of those. Okay, so maybe I need to fix this too. Actually, maybe I should flip those. Don't do it. Alright, let's try this one. Remember, this doesn't change shit. Trying to switch them and see what happens. The same problem. There it is. Okay. And did I break anything? I need to flip this cursor thing. Yeah, definitely need to flip this. Okay. Seems to be okay. It's, oh, this also fixes this problem. I love when problems fix themselves. Don't you? Now let me see if I can, if the, no, yeah, yes and no. The main reason why I'm doing this is for my own education, because if you really want to learn how to make games, you have to learn how to make games. Engine making. There's a very, very cool video. Let me put it in the comments, and you can watch it later or now. But let me see, just a second. I think it was. Where was it? Yep, this is the one. So I would watch that video definitely. Casey makes a lot of good points there, and he is the guy who inspired me to start programming in the first place. And the problem is quality of programs lately have become that programmers mostly don't know what they're dealing with. The problem with using an engine is that an engine does a lot of stuff for you in the background. It cuts a lot of time for you. It does a lot of stuff for you faster, but it sometimes does a lot of stuff for you that you don't need to be done. And like, in order just to show you text, maybe it's loading a bunch of shit that's running in the background. And in the end, it's just a bloated software that may work, but then is riddled with bugs. I mean, if you read about what Unity, for example, which is one of the best, community standards for these engines, the amount of bugs that start to arise as soon as you start to play outside of, like, start to make really, innovative ideas, and you want to add API that does a special niche of thing that the engine wasn't necessarily very good at. And you start hitting brick walls. You start getting riddled with memory bugs. You start getting riddled with stuff that are just not fixed and unfixable, because they don't just fix it, because they just keep pushing out new features, because that's what the cheapest way to do it, and that's basically what brings most money for upper management, which it's never developers in upper management. They keep pushing out new features that basically, add more stuff to an already broken software on a high level. It works for the basics things, yeah, sure. And you may not even run into the problem until you start maybe pushing the program to really do hard stuff. And that's the problem. The problem is that you have a program that does stuff that you don't know what's doing in the background, and it's constantly breaking, and you have no control over it. And it's kind of stuff can drive you crazy as a developer when you are supposed to be the person designing this thing, and you can't do anything about it. And that's one thing. Another thing is that if you really want to be a good game developer, you have to at least make your engine to understand at least how engines work. You need to understand, even if you're going to use those libraries, even because maybe you don't have the budget to focus on these things, maybe you don't have the time, maybe you're working at a job that requires you to do these things on a deadline, you definitely have to use engines. But engines are like editors. You're not actually learning the language, the programming behind it. You're learning to use that certain engine. And and if you really want to program with these engines, even, you need to at least know how these engines work in the background. And making your own engines does that for you. It teaches you all of those minutiae, that why is a certain thing not working. And yeah, sure, it's more time consuming. It's a conscious decision I made. But this is what's fun about the project, honestly. It wouldn't be fun for me to to actually delegate this to anyone first, and to use an engine for it. It's basically like using an editor like a Paint or Photoshop, but this is a completely different thing. So yeah, I know it looks weird, and it looks like I'm taking more time than I need to do in this, but this is the way I do it. And yep. I hope this answers your question. Also, just the sheer feeling of being in control of your code is so satisfying constantly. And I know every nook and cranny of my code, especially that I wrote all of it myself. So, oh, by the way, can you see it even when it's in full screen is my question. Oh, damn, you can't. That's a problem. Thank you, man. Yeah, like if I can find every nook and cranny about my, like, I know every corner of the code. It's 8,000 lines of code, I think, up to this point. But I know every one of them, and I wrote every one of them. So bug fixing is much much faster because I know exactly where everything is going and what everything does because I made it. So I don't have any problem with that, and I don't have any problem with team programs like where you work with on a team with somebody because I wrote everything. So I have just one convention of writing things, and it works for me. So I don't know. Yeah. Thank you. What did I want to do? This thing is not showing up on the OBS page, which is a bit weird. Display capture. How does that look? Nope. What if I do just? Nope. And what about this? Oh, you don't have to show me that. The update is too fast for me to see. Alright, wait a second. Hey, it's no longer rendering the mouse. Nope, that's not gonna work. Alright, just click automatic. Yeah, you can't see the thing. Alright, let me see if I can do anything about it. Window capture. Game. And you should capture... Nope. It's not showing up, isn't it? Is it? Let me Google this. Maybe there's a thing about OBS. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I thought as much, but the thing is, I can no longer see the cursor, which is a bigger problem. If you ask me, like the cursor should appear, right? I mean, let me try it again. The Windows 10 thing. It says capture cursor, right? So, but if I go here, I can no longer see the cursor. You can see the game, which is cool, but I can't see the cursor, which is not cool. Unless like I do custom cursors and stuff later. I'm gonna try the stretch the windowed mode for it. Because hi there, Bob R hashtag. I don't know how to pronounce your thingy. Your name. So OBS full screen capture. Welcome to the stream. Now I'm gonna see some things about laptops that I don't have. I'm not running on a laptop. I'm not running on only one video card, right? Yep, it's just one video card. Game capture, sure. Capture specific window. Let me see. Okay. Nope. Again, nope. The thing is, I don't know if the problem is on OBS's end or on my actual program's end. Ah, shit, I'm not gonna stop the stream for it. Beaver. Hashtag Beaver. Well, welcome, Mr. Beaver. Or Miss. Or Mrs. Alright, so I guess this is not gonna work. Well, at least it works on my end. It will be, that's annoying. But I'm gonna do the borderless window, thing. OBS, my god. Well, let's just check one last source and then move on. No, it's not that. No, it's just like I want it to work. I want it to also be visible, and it would be also like a problem in the long run. Like, what if somebody's gonna be playing the game and recording it? You know. But I'm having this problem with OBS even in normal games. Actually, I think I stopped having the problem when I was running in windowed full screen, just like fake full screen mode, not actual full screen. So I forgot about that. Where was the So let's do that actually. Wait, what are you doing here? Wait, it says window full screen desktop. That should make it fake full screen, right? Where did I forget it? Window dodo. And there you go. Oh, this is still window. This is still full screen. SDL window full screen desktop. Is there maybe the other one? Window full screen, sure, let's try that. Okay. How does that look? Well, fuck me. This thing doesn't work for shit. The window thing doesn't work that well. Well, this is an OBS problem, not a problem on my end here, because here it is working. Alright, I will be playing around with this now, since I know it works. I'm gonna set this to... Wait, if you set it to full screen... Alright, I'm gonna do this, do away with this, and make this 0. So now we should have just a normal windowed game. And now I'm gonna add functions that flip between them, and hopefully it doesn't break the game in the process. Also, why are you taking so long? It's not using... Okay, now I bet now you can see it, right? Yeah, and now you can see it because it's the same display. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Time to do... Well, first I'm gonna... before I do the menu, I'm gonna put it in console commands. And if that works, then I'll just put it in the menu. So there's that. Console commands. Do you guys think that I should push this into like whenever I finish a stream? Should I just push the current update out if it has a usable function, or wait until like I have a couple of features and then push them out? I think the former, right? Okay, so I have F. Now I want to make, if the token is full screen, here we're gonna plug in the code for the full screen thingy. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing both actually. It's just that like it's gonna be riddled with like version 0.00 blah 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 and all that stuff, and yeah, probably should do that. Yeah, like last couple of streams, I've been like before I posted this on Reddit, I've been doing like 6 hours straight of work, and then would have like a shit ton of features more to do, or like a big feature at least. If you see like the version history, they're like adding small steps of stuff to it. I guess it's just like excited for people to try it to the latest version, which is alright, I want to have this and go into debug and then shove it here. So when if I hit full screen, set window blah blah blah, I don't need to get logical size. Yup, and if it's windowed, then set it to 0, and if it's full screen D, or how would you full screen, yeah, let's say full screen D, you will set it to window full screen desktop. Alright, let's try that. Oh, it's on? Wait, where is it? Yeah, that's weird. Fatal error, can't. Maybe this is the thing that's because it's opened here is what's slowing it down. Alright, turn this off. Sometimes the debugger is an idiot. Okay, now it's windowed. Now S full screen. Hey, S windowed. Look, I know you can't see it, but it's happening. I know you're just seeing a black screen, but that's OBS doing OBS. But it's working. It's alright. Let's see full screen D. Yeah, desktop. Motherfucker, it's working. See, this is the cool thing. Like, this is really one of the biggest lessons I think I learned from programming my own stuff, is that when you engineer your code in a way that makes sense to you and in a smart way, you can immediately add large features really quickly. Like the debug system, like the command line system, is done in a way that I can just add with 3 lines of code. I just added a feature, which, you know, like the parser works that way. So I just like, if I say this, then this happens. If I say this, then this happens. That's really cool. I'm glad it worked. Okay, so if it works now in the debug, wait, I need to add those into the help section. The help section is for you guys when you play to know what stuff you can do with the console, but also for me to keep track of the stuff that I add. Full screen, to set size to full screen. Or not set size to full screen. Turn on full screen. To whoever donated, that's really nice of you. I actually should add an option to ask people if they would like to be mentioned in the stream or if they want to do it. Really appreciate it. It's really, it's sort of like a dream come true. Like, I've been playing games since I was a kid, and it's yeah. Oh wait, no, what do we call it? Borderless. And it's humbling to see that my whatever I'm doing is actually interesting to somebody. Okay, so we have that. Now, now I actually wanted to test if you could, what happens if you add, like, if you write come on. Well, if like full screen, oh, S full screen. Alright, it doesn't do it, it's no problem if you do it twice. Actually, why did I call it full screen D? I could just call it borderless. That's makes more sense than full screen D. Okay, so we have borderless, windowed, and full screen. Now I need to add the functionality to change the resolutions. Now, resolution changing in this game is a little bit wonky, I guess, because everything is relative to how big things are, and the biggest problem is just text rendering. Text rendering is not, it gets scaled, but it doesn't get scaled linearly so that you can, it's not really well designed, honestly. But again, for the functionality of like full screen like resolutions, I could just use most supported resolutions, you know. So as long as it's 16:9, I don't know how it would work with other aspect ratios, honestly, and it would be probably a problem. I mean, I'd have to add black bars to it, probably. So yeah. Alright, so the only thing that would change is the resolution multiplier, which would be, I think, this. So let's say I can make through a console command resolution multiplier. Let's see. let's say R80, should set the resolution multiplier to 80. Although I'm not sure that would change. No, to change the resolution, actually, you have to recreate the window, I think. Yep, set logical render size, I guess. All right. So equals 80. And I think I'll have to redo all these calculations again. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work because it's a number. Let's call it R for now. I'll change it later. God, why is it so slow? Okay, I need to just go put it into the debugger and see what happened. That's not what I wanted. I've had it once in a code before in a previous project. Let me go check that out. Yeah, I recreate the window, I guess. Oh, that's... Alright. Alright. Shouldn't be that hard, I guess. No, I can't do that, can I? Set Windows size, probably. And we are going to be using window and window width and window height. Yeah, I don't need this one. Okay, so probably this. Let's just try it out. It got smaller, alright, but everything else got suddenly removed from existence. What happens if I set it this? Alright, let's make some. After R, you get a token and get a second token. And if the token text is 80, I'm gonna reorganize this later, don't worry. Oh yeah, right. Now what happens when if I do 120? Yeah, you see, it's not moving those to satisfy that. So what is the difference then here? Do I need to run that though? Oh, welcome aboard. Oh, how many people we have here? Is there a way to know? 3 and 9, yeah, wow, that's nice. How do I do it then? Since set logical size does jack shit. It can't do jack, it doesn't work, right? Alright, let's try int w equals window width and h, so we store them before we change them, and then we change them. Now let's divide by them? No. Well, let's do w and h. That's it. Though it looks a bit weird, honestly. See, the placement of these things, the scaling doesn't look correct. No, it's not correct at all. Huh. Because see if I start it with 80, it looks different. See, it's centered. Things are in the right position. Why is that though? So 80, what's changing there? Window width, resolution multiplier. Maybe it's RU actually. So what if I don't change those? I just change the window width and window height. Actually, I don't need to change this either. What if like I only change the window width and window height? Well, of course now it's not going to change anything, but let's make this 100. I'm ready to do this. But again, it's moving them around. Oh, I think I know the problem. Well, shit. This is the first problem I'm running with that pertains to the reason it's not working is because the rectangles that are initialized by the game at the beginning are initialized based on a certain size, and that size needs to be reinitialized if we're gonna do it again correctly. I think. Not sure. Oh, I mean 100. No, 100, we are at 100. See what's the problem? Well, this seems to be stuck to the right now, see? So either I have to write a launcher for the game, like the game should start by asking you for the resolution and then setting it that, and you can choose full screen, borderless, or neither, because well, this approach, let me play around with it, maybe there's a way for it. If the type equals number, oh no, never mind. No, maybe I'm coding this just wrong. What if those don't change? Okay. $70 isn't supported probably. I think 80 is the smallest it can get. Come on. What the fuck? Why is it suddenly so slow? I have to fix these problems. What's going on? feel like it's working, sort of. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I know this is maybe a bit boring to look at. But that's the grind of the job. See what happened now. All right, I need to window width. Actually, I have them. The window width and the logical window width are the same. So SR 105. Nope, I have to increment in tens. Hey. Now run it again. They'll be the same. That's the problem. The resolution, the first two. So where is it? So window width logical and the window height. The logical is the first one. No, it should be the second one. Okay, so the actual right, let's try it again. Okay. Well, now if I started in 80, and the logical is 180. And the text size is larger. Yep. I'm starting to see the problem. The logical one defines the text size and all that stuff. So why wouldn't just the logical one just stay forever the one thing that it is designed to be? Right? So those don't change. What's the problem? Like if I started at 100. Now bear in mind this is not the optimal way to do it. I'm just realizing. SR 120 SR 100. Really? SR 80. Full screen. $90. Why do I really need to run it twice though? Oh, I meant to put it here. That makes sense. Okay. What do you mean too many arguments? Oh, void. I mean, the text side is not. Okay, I can make them actually get scaled linearly then. Where's the... Seems okay. Not that thrilled about it though, honestly. It should scale linearly. Everything should scale linearly. So that it wasn't designed for it. Okay. Okay. So how does it work with Alt Enter? I wonder. Well, I thought it would be, you know. Okay, then let's add the Alt Enter thing. Main. Let's work on menus. What do you think? I say menus. Also, why is this? Oh. No, thank you. We need to have a pause menu and options. Pause and options, basically. Alright, I will be adding that next up. But I think this is enough for one session. I'm gonna rename this to full screen mode. And Okay. So, I think I'm gonna call it now, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright. Bye-bye.